Right. So my first question would be, what made you guys decide to perform again in the Philippines?
It's usually just the fans. We can. We always tour wherever the fans are. But we can kind of gauge that based on the comments or the views and all that kind of stuff. Streams at this point on Spotify, and I think this is our 9th or 10th time in the Philippines over the last 11 years. The very first time we ever played here was February 2009. We had no idea what to expect, but thousands of people showed up, and ever since, almost every year, at least every other year, we've come back, and the people have always come back and shown us so much love, so we'll continue to do that forever, as long as the people will have us here.
You mentioned, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that a lot of times on our YouTube channel, a lot of the comments that we get are fans asking us to come play wherever they live, right? Like, please come to Brazil, or please come to, Argentina, or wherever. And what I think a lot of these fans maybe don't understand is that we can't just choose to go to somewhere we've never been without help, So a lot of times it takes a good promoter like Will Bros that we've worked with before to believe in us and to work together with us and speak with our booking agents and make it happen. But there first has to be somebody like a promoter that wants to bring you over, because we can't just come by ourselves, We don't know the lay of the land. So we're lucky that in the Philippines we've worked with some really great promotion companies, some great promoters.
My second question is, you've been here, like you mentioned, 9 or 10 times. So what will make this show different? Will you guys be having more original songs or more covers of recent songs?
I think part of what makes us, I feel like, unique is the consistency. Like, even on our YouTube channel, there's been a lot of people that maybe will change certain things up, and I feel like there has been an evolution, but at the root of it, it's a bit about the emotion, the lyrics, the melodies, that kind of stuff. So I feel like every time we come here, we're going to bring that, and the fans can expect that, to be able to sing along with some timeless classic cover songs and some of our originals and stuff like that. One thing we are excited about, though, is some of the openers that we're going to be having on, I think, 3 out of the 4 shows here. And the show that they're not going to be on, we're excited to play, though, because we've never been there before in Pangasinan.
Pangasinan.
Yeah. So we've never ever played there before, and that's always such an amazing experience for us to play a new city and to see a new culture and just a new land in general. We've been doing this for over 12 years now, touring and posting videos and everything, and a lot of times we go back to similar markets, so to play a new city is always a really special thing for us.
Lastly, have you performed with Myra last time you were here? Are you still in contact with her, or do you guys plan to collaborate any time in the future?
We really enjoyed meeting her. She's such a sweetheart. Unfortunately, our schedule is really busy this tour, and if we have any free time, we're actually trying to get together with the guys that we're going to be playing with. We'd like to do something special for everybody on stage if we can. So a lot of our time is going to get taken up in travel and then preparing for the shows.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If other people want to ask, just come over here.
Sounds good.
Sure, or just keep taking photos.
The mic is open. Anybody want?
Yeah, we'll just hang here.
Put out the bottom.
Is there any wine? Since this is our living room.
Have you ever taken a break in all those 12 years?
No.
Just to recharge?
That's a good question.
I think what the difference is for us is I feel like we've had a good balance that we tour often, but we always have a balance of home life and relaxing at home in the studio and stuff like that. I think by nature of what we do, it's like we'll make videos, go on tour, make videos, and we kind of keep going back and forth. So it's a really cool thing where, like, once we've done maybe a very long tour and we're missing home, it always feels like it's nice to recharge our battery at home, be with family, but then also make videos. And then once we've made a bunch of videos, then we get that itch to go back on tour, we do that. So I think there's something about that more healthy balance that I think is different from us with other artists that maybe spend a year at home writing, release an album, tour nonstop for 2 years. It's like, it's very extreme, but I feel like we've kind of found a better balance of it. So it's like we rest in between, I feel like.
Good question. Yeah, were you gonna ask him? I think somebody stepped up to the mic.
I have to step a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This being Valentine's season, and thank you. Filipinos are hopeless romantics. What's your advice for people who are still looking for the one?
I think be true to yourself. And I feel like you have to listen to your own, kind of to go along with that, you have to listen to your own heart. I know a lot of times maybe friends or family will have opinions on who you're with or who you should be or shouldn't be with. And I think it's always fine to find that right person in your own time. You know, whether you're with somebody and you're uncertain, that's fine. I feel like in the end you will find that person where it feels right and it makes that connection with you. Because nobody else can ultimately really know what you're going through or what, as a couple, what you're going through. So I think just kind of be true to yourself and be patient. Like, don't feel the need to necessarily rush in to anything just because you maybe see your friends or family that found what seems like to be that loved one early, you know?
Yeah, and listen to our band. play our music on date night.
Yeah. If you like Boyce Avenue and they don't, probably not the best person.
Get rid of that.
I like that question though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Alright, thank you. Hello, yeah, welcome to Manila.
Hi, how are you?
Coming from that question, I want to ask, since you're working with with some of the most popular bands in the country, have you ever thought of doing a cover of some of your hit songs? If yes, which artist and what song?
I think we were just at a prior interview thinking of what the song could be. Maybe
Filipino song?
yeah, Filipino song.
We're listening to
El Bimbo.
yeah, Raise Your Hand.
Huling El Bimbo.
Okay.
Yeah, we were learning the dance as well. And it might be more of like a dance video.
Yeah. Boy band. No instruments.
Not Tana.
You know, what I think is really cool about the Philippines though is you guys are obviously very proud of your own artists and your own music, but you also do listen to everything, right? Like, so, there's been some places we'll go and they just only insist mostly on radio to play their own local music. But I think one of the reasons we've done well over here is that a lot of the songs that we cover, you guys are fans of. So it does seem like just the Philippines in general has a very diverse taste in music, you know?
Yeah.
And that's good for us, obviously, because we've covered so many different types of songs. But it would be really nice to do like a Philippines cover. We must.
How about the songs of the bands and artists you're playing with? Like December Ave, I Belong to the Zoo, the
Yeah, we'd like to
do a cover.
I think we'll see how this tour goes and just the connection with the artists and stuff like that. The one thing that does make it tough is just the geography or whatever. Because I would personally like to do as well if we did a song, a Filipino song, would be to do it as a collab. Just because I feel like it would take a little bit of the burden off of us having to know the entire thing in a different language that's not, our native language. And I think even more so than that, it would be helpful to hear somebody else maybe sing it, a native speaker. So our ear could kind of get trained with that. We would know how to pronounce some of the words. So I would love to do it as a collab with somebody. But we'll have to see. I think even with Moira, she was amazing. And both of these bands have some great songs. So I think it'll be interesting to see which ones are kind of like the ones that our Filipino fans are responding to as they perform opening for us. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Who else?
How do you three work together when writing an original
The question was how three of us work together when writing original song.
For the most part, we work individually. We've had a few times where we'll do some songs that we co-write, but even then, it's usually somebody writes a piece of it, and then they present it to somebody else, and they say, well, what do you think? You know, do you have any ideas? And then they take it on their own. For us, songwriting is kind of an intimate, personal process. So the ideas will usually start with just one person by themselves at a piano or at a guitar. And then once there's an idea in place, then we're all pretty good about helping each other after that.
What do you consider your most requested song, like a must-sing piece in every concert?
I think we disagree about this, but I think for me, it seems to be that one of the songs that we play, what I feel like if we didn't play it, people would be most disappointed, I guess you'd say. You know, like they seem relieved. Like when you look out and everyone's like, like yes, they did it. It would probably be Fast Car. And fortunately for us, we actually really, really like playing that song. We've never wanted to not play it, you know? So that's a song that I think will be in our set for a long time.
It's really tough actually because we have, I think at this point, we've uploaded almost more than 270 covers or something insane.
Yeah, we've lost.
So we constantly, we constantly run into people who are like, oh, I loved your show, but I wish you would have played this song or whatever. But it's impossible to make everybody happy because with that many videos and each of them having very similar sort of views, you know, it's like impossible to create a set list almost. So we found over the years that there's a handful that really resonate with people, and so we almost consider those like our classic cover songs. But yeah, it's so hard to choose which ones that you end up playing live, you know.
Which one's your favorite?
A lot, Senorita. Senorita.
Oh, Senorita. That's a good one.
Hi guys. You guys have already shared the stage with several Filipino artists. But I just want to know, now that Filipino artists need validation, what do you think sets them apart from the rest of the artists that you guys have shared the stage with in the past?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think somebody had kind of covered this earlier that you guys are hopeless romantics, and I have to believe that's why I feel like we connect with this country so much and why it's connected with us and our music. That was such a good way of putting it, is I feel like we've always been raised that way, like as almost like hopeless romantics. Where we love, even if it is a sad song about love, we love that just as much as a pure ballad or romantic song about more of like the happy side of love. But I think we've always been drawn, even in movies, to there being a love story. Like as silly as this sounds, but like The Office, like we love the Jim and Pam storyline. In Friends, we love Friends, but we feel like there was that core of Ross and Rachel. So as silly as these examples are, we do love like that romance and that connection. And I feel like the artists here must have been raised in a similar way that we were, where there's that same tie. So I feel like there's a reason that you guys love acoustic music too so much, where it's like it kind of puts the lyric and the vocal front and center. So at least with Moira, we noticed that when she would perform, it was very similar. I have a feeling it'll be the same with them. And we've never seen them live, but I have a feeling it'll be very similar.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Welcome back to the Philippines.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been touring a lot. So how do you handle the stress, how do you handle depression or stuff like that?
I think for us, we just love it so much, and then we always have the perspective of like what life would be like if we weren't able to do this. You know, like there's a lot of people that maybe don't get to do what they love for a living. So even when there does come maybe stresses or pressure, that's kind of, we always view that as part of it, you know, where like ultimately it's an absolute dream job that we never take for granted. So I think that kind of perspective always helps us to get through maybe any moment that is difficult or stressful. But for the most part, it's kind of like a love fest. Like, it's the whole concept of it that there's these people, that there's millions of people in the world that listen to something that we created, that appreciate it, and that will come to concerts or stream our music or share our videos. It's like one of the most fulfilling occupations I could ever think of or imagine. So yeah, we never get tired of it.
And as brothers and professional musicians, how do you argue with each other?
Loudly.
Yeah. Thankfully, always with words. We never really got like into. There was little scuffles when we were really young, you know, like 9 years old, 11 years old, or whatever. We wrestle and stuff. But like ever since we've been teens and adults, it's always been more, you know, with words as like debating and stuff. But yeah, we don't. I think as the years have gone on, we don't argue as much. I think we kind of just respect what the other person brings to the band or just to the relationship in general as brothers. And we respect that the other has different opinions or interests as we get older, different family life and, you know, views and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we pretty much get along for the most part. It's very rare that we fight these days.
Such a stupid answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello guys, welcome back. So, having been to the Philippines for a couple of times now, do you have your favorites as soon as you landed here in the country, the dishes that you look for or the places that you want to go to before leaving the Philippines?
You know, I think one of the important things when you're traveling is to stay healthy, or to try and stay healthy. It's hard when there's so many good food to eat and to try and bars to go to or whatever, but we usually try and exercise and stay healthy, and two of my favorite things to do for exercise are boxing and basketball, and Danielle as well. And what's really cool is that the Philippines, boxing and basketball seem to be two of like the more popular sports. You guys love basketball, and any kind of international tournament, you always do really well in basketball, so there's a lot of gyms you can go to. Boxing with Manny and a bunch of other, you know, awesome Filipino boxers, so there's always boxing gyms everywhere. So me personally, I like to hit up some basketball courts or some boxing gyms. I'm also into sneakers, and you guys have a decent sneaker culture here. There's like,
I think shopping in general, like the malls here are pretty epic. Some of the biggest malls in Asia, all of Asia or something like that. Like, so,
yeah, like I just saw on Instagram, there's a basketball court with a mural of Kobe Bryant painted on it. I think it's in Tagwig. How do you say it?
Taguig.
So I'd love to maybe go check that out. And so you guys have a really cool, just music, art, sport culture. There's lots to do here, obviously, as you know. But what do you like to do, Miguel? Fish?
What do you look forward to?
You've never been fishing in the Philippines, have you?
Actually,
Do you guys fly fish? No?
is there?
We're not really into fishing, actually.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Maybe it's a bit. Maybe it's a bit. Fine. No, I think what Fabian said is accurate. I actually also enjoy, this is going to sound really weird, but we don't get a lot of time in each city. So when you're here, you want to be able to enjoy some of your creature comforts that you're used to from home. And some of the best hotels we've ever stayed in are in the Philippines. And it just kind of, they take care of you and everything's there. And you can still taste the local food. And you have these amazing buffets and everything else, but you also feel like, you know, you're comfortable and well taken care of. So we've always appreciated that aspect of touring in the Philippines.
I think every hotel has had like epic breakfasts.
We love breakfast.
In some countries, don't take breakfast as seriously as I feel like we do in America, but they take it very seriously here. So we always love that component.
The British breakfast.
Any other questions?
Is it okay?
All right, yes, sir.
I was just wondering because you're so good at making cover songs. Are you also good at being a judge of winners of reality searches? Because basically, they're also doing cover songs in their contest basis.
That's a great question. I mean, we were asked by like Simon Cowell at one point in his team to go work on the X Factor, which is like a talent competition in the UK and the United States and stuff. And it was actually, I think they understood that if we can kind of arrange these covers the way that we have, and that maybe we could help their contestants arrange the covers in the same way. And it was an amazing experience. So, I mean, it's hard to answer your question about judging though, more so, it's hard to judge other people. I think it's such a subjective art form that it's kind of like, it's very sensitive and it's hard to judge, but, so I don't know, it's hard to answer.
Maybe help give them pointers, you know, like constructive feedback. But ultimately, I feel like the beauty, especially what we've noticed on YouTube, is that just the whole world's so diverse. There's so many different ways you can succeed or find success or find an audience that, like Fabian said, it's kind of difficult. I don't feel like it would necessarily be our place to judge somebody else's work as much as it would be to maybe just give them some tips about how to get more exposure or to find their audience. But it's like, at the end of the day, I think it's kind of like the question about the hopeless romantics and love and stuff like that. Like, just be true to your art form and who you are. As long as you're happy and loving what you create, I feel like you're going to find an audience. And maybe it's not a huge audience early on. Like for us, it was all very gradual. It took years and years to build. But I feel like you'll find some audience. You know, you'll find something and then be able to kind of make your own decisions after that.
But it's not as if you sit in front of the TV, all three of you, and maybe watch a show together and say, that one's going to win because that's a good cover. Maybe because of technical aspect, maybe because of the singing, maybe because of the performance.
I think we are actually. We do have strong opinions about what makes a good or not good cover. I mean, we definitely do, because we've even noticed that when other major artists do covers, sometimes we don't actually think that, we think they could have done a better job, to be honest. And then there's certain major artists who just do amazing covers, like John Mayer's had a few that are really, really good, where we even think like, man, we wish we would have done that way, or you know, that kind of thing. We don't really watch the singing competition shows. We did when we were younger, but we just don't anymore. So I don't really know about that, but I just know that even like we signed this artist, Janelle Garcia, to our record label, and she was actually one of the contestants on X Factor when we were judges on the show. And we definitely have a strong sense and a strong feeling about what makes for a compelling and an emotional and a really good cover. But you know, we usually just practice that for ourselves and apply that to the songs that either we're doing or that we're doing with her.
Yeah, I think some of what maybe makes us unique too is knowing what it's a lot of it's about song choice and then about arrangement. Because we've seen a lot of times on these singing competitions, again, not so much recently, but years ago when we were really into like American Idol and all that stuff, where you would see even from week to week a phenomenal singer do an amazing job, and then the next week it's just not the same. And it's not that they became all of a sudden a worse singer, they just didn't pick the right song. The arrangement kind of failed them. So I feel like that's kind of why Simon Cowell had reached out to us. I feel like as he saw the consistency in our catalog. And so it ended up being a lot of fun to kind of like take that role with a lot of the contestants. Like that was the year that Fifth Harmony was formed. So we got to see them all as individuals and then like performing together and stuff like that. And then Janelle was on that show, and there was a lot of talent that was on that season. But that was kind of like, that was a really validating moment because we had already spent so many years doing that just with the three brothers, where we will all kind of help each other pick covers and stuff like that. To then do that with other artists was a really unique experience.
My last question, we have a contestant now on a reality show. It's Marcelito Pomoy. I don't know if you are aware of him, but my real question is, have you ever rooted for a Pinoy contestant on a reality show?
Say it again.
Have you ever rooted for a Filipino contestant on a reality, on a talent search on TV?
I don't. I've never seen. You know, never been exposed to that. Like I've never seen, at least even in the United States, and the ones that we watch, because we don't have access to this show. But back home, the shows that we watch, The Boyce, X Factor, we haven't noticed very many Filipino contestants, but if there were, we would definitely root for them. I mean, back in the day, the Jabberwockies was like a dance crew, and we actually did a show with them. We were definitely rooting for them. But yeah, well, I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome. My question is, what's your criteria in terms of choosing which songs are you going to cover?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. There's a balance. Like for us, there's two different types of covers we do. One is timeless classics, and another one is maybe more of like a modern song. When it comes to the timeless classic, it's usually pretty easy because there's a list of songs that we have that we've already done, but a lot that we haven't, that we just love. Like we grew up listening to those songs, we know them like the back of our hand, and it's like we've spent so many years singing to them, whether it's in the car or in our bedrooms or whatever, that we already have a very strong idea of how we could perform them and kind of put our stamp on it. And then the other side of it is more with like a modern song. And for us, it's like, is there a strong melody there? What perspective is it being told from? Like if it's from a female perspective, does it even make sense for us to flip it? You know what I mean? Like is there some songs that it really makes more sense for a female or a male to be singing it? You know, like it wouldn't really have the same impact if you flip the pronoun. I don't know, there has to be like even just down to search cues, like a lot of the reason that we do it is for exposure and to be able to reach a big audience. So there's a lot of songs that maybe we think is a good song, but I don't know if it's not connecting with the world, you know, or different countries, then we maybe think twice about it. Like there's some songs that maybe we'll look at like a Spotify chart and maybe it's big in just the UK or just the US, but we want to be such a global band where if it's not big in the Philippines, then it's kind of like we maybe think twice about it, you know? So there's a lot of things I think that go into it, from analytics to more emotion to lyrics to melodies, arrangements, all that stuff.
Do you have covers from before that you wish to
Do again.
put a different
redo
it?
Yeah, I think there would be a few. We already have done that for a few of them. Some of them, maybe the reason could be just the technology we had at the time. You know, like the camera wasn't very good because we did it in 2008. The recording equipment, like we were just starting out, so we were having to do it in like a bedroom. But now we have like our own studio and stuff like that. So I would love for us to redo Wonderwall. There's a few songs that. Landslide is another one we love, the song Landslide, but again, that was just such an older era for us. And then some songs I feel like maybe we did them on an instrument that I love how it came out, but I would love to maybe do a piano version, or you know, like just change it up even again, just as like a fun exercise because we love the song so much to do even just an entirely different version, or to do it as a collab. Like I think we did Yellow by Coldplay, but I feel like that could actually make for maybe a really pretty duet because the lyrics are so emotional. So yeah, we're always kind of thinking about stuff like that, you know, like songs we haven't done, newer songs, and then even songs that we have done, how we could put another spin on it.
And what has been the most memorable conversation you had with the original artist whom you did the cover?
Interesting. There's been a few. I think one that was kind of a funny flip on it was Louis Tomlinson from One Direction had actually reached out to us before we knew who they were. And this was like very early days, like where I think they had just finished the show, like that season, and they got third place, I think. So they had like a really rabid fan base, but they didn't have a lot of new music. I think What Makes You Beautiful was like he released as a single. And he actually tweeted us and got so many people to retweet and to reply to that when we checked our feed the next day on Twitter, it was just completely bombarded with like all of their fans. It was trying to get us to do a cover of their single, What Makes You Beautiful. So we like looked it up and we're like, who is this? Like there's thousands of people that have been tweeting or whatever. We looked them up, saw some of their videos of them performing on the competition on X Factor UK. And there were so many people, such a big response to it that we decided to do a cover of it, and we kind of formed a relationship from that. When we went on a tour that they did in the UK, which was like a big first tour for them in like a couple arenas and stuff like that. So that was kind of a cool way where it was almost like we didn't know the original artist or the song, we hadn't heard it yet, and even a lot of people honestly in the whole rest of the world hadn't heard them yet, they hadn't broken overseas. But it was through like their interaction on Twitter with us and stuff that made us do the cover, and it all kind of blew up after that.
I think another example, now that I'm thinking about it, would probably be like Fifth Harmony, because it's not that, when a lot of these songs that we cover, we're never going to have a conversation with the original artist because we don't know them and they're off doing whatever they do. But Fifth Harmony was really special because we worked with them. We were their vocal coaches on the X Factor, so we literally had multiple conversations with these girls, working with them on a daily basis before they were even at all successful and famous. And then to see how they've gone on to just become so massive, and all the stuff Camila's doing with her solo career and everything. And I think one of the videos that we did with them is one of our most viewed videos of all time and stuff. So the fact that we actually know them and have a good relationship with them and have worked with them and seen their career kind of go, progress has been pretty cool for me. And I'm glad that that's one of our most viewed videos because it comes up a lot in conversation. What's your most viewed videos? And I like that I can bring them up. I like that there's that kind of connection with them.
And last question from me. How does your loved ones or significant other feel when you're out on a Valentine's Day doing a concert?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we've missed a lot of Valentine's Days at home. For us, it's really special because the Philippines has become kind of a place that we feel like is where we'd want to be if we weren't going to be home, for Valentine's Day.
We could all be hopeless together.
But our families are really supportive. Our wives really do appreciate that we get to travel and that we get to do what we love, and we always just find a different day to celebrate on. And we always, FaceTime or say hi or send them something from afar. But it's become a fun tradition for us to be here for Valentine's, and they're very supportive. So
I think we have a nice balance too, where we do spend so much quality time at home when we're home that I feel like it helps to make up for what makes touring a little bit tough, is being away from family. Whereas I feel like maybe somebody with a consistent job, they're technically home every day, but it may not be quality time. They don't necessarily get to go on little mini vacations or little things and spend a nice solid day or two with their loved one or family. So I think we kind of strike a good balance with that helps to kind of soften the blow of being away on Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.